from 11 Alive, your NBC station. This is 11 Alive News Weekend Edition.
None of us are going to be bullied by it.
A strong warning to Saddam Hussein. Shoot at UN surveillance planes and risk the wrath of the U.S. Welcome to 11 Alive News at 11, where you get tonight's top stories and the weather in the first 11 minutes. Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Landis.
I'm Brenda Wood. We'll have that story in just a moment, but first, some breaking news we want to tell you about. The Boeing 707 carrying Hillary Clinton tonight was forced to turn back to Andrews Air Force Base. Just moments after takeoff, the aircraft suffered mechanical problems, and the pilot immediately began dumping fuel. The plane has now reportedly landed safely. Mrs. Clinton was on her way to Russia for a 9-day visit. In other news tonight, the showdown continues between the U.S. and Iraq. For the 7th straight day, Iraq refused to allow UN weapons inspectors access to military facilities in Iraq because Americans are on the team. Iraqi President Saddam Hussein says their anti-aircraft sites are on standby, and if U.S. surveillance planes fly as scheduled on Monday, they will be fired upon. Action the President of the U.S. and Secretary of State warned would be a big mistake.
Saddam Hussein is a congenital liar, and he cheats and he steals, and he cannot be allowed to defy the international community.
UN weapons inspectors say they'll try once again to visit Iraqi weapons sites tomorrow. The developments are particularly unsettling for the hundreds of Gulf War veterans meeting here in Atlanta this weekend. The conference focused on the mysterious ailments that veterans believe they developed after exposure to chemical weapons in Iraq. If there is another war, they hope, they say, that the Pentagon treats the new troops better.
The lies of the Pentagon caused delays in treatment and research for 5 years among Gulf War veterans. And even with the admission of the toxic exposures, the Pentagon and the VA are still dragging their feet.
The veterans say they have received some encouraging news from the White House. President Clinton is promising an oversight board to monitor the Pentagon's research of the Gulf War syndrome, and legislation extending benefits to veterans, even though the exact cause of their illness may never be identified.
A 22-year-old convicted killer is behind bars tonight after eluding police for more than a year. He'd been one of Georgia's most wanted. 11 Alive's Ernie Freeman is at the Fulton County Government Center, where the Sheriff's Department is breathing quite a sigh of relief right about now, I'd imagine, Ernie?
Yeah, Mike, the Fulton County Sheriff's Fugitive Squad hit the jackpot tonight. They got a killer off the street, 22-year-old Michael Copeland. They say he had already killed at least one time and was more than willing to kill again. Copeland was convicted of the 1993 murder of Deculus Douglas, but before his 1996 murder trial ended, Copeland fled. The jury still found him guilty. And tonight, after receiving an anonymous tip, the Fulton County Sheriff's Fugitive Squad found him hiding in a southeast Atlanta apartment.
He tried to get out the window and struggled with the deputies briefly and then gave up.
Last month, authorities spotted Copeland in another section of town. He escaped then, authorities say, with the help of family members.
And our fugitive squad chased him and two of his friends in a car. They ditched the car and ran into the apartment complex where we lost him.
Chad says when they found Copeland tonight, he had a 9mm handgun and was in possession of a bulletproof vest, armed and very dangerous.
The city of Atlanta can rest a little bit easier tonight knowing that he's off the street.
Well, Copeland's not the only one off the street. 2 other people were arrested. They were charged with trying to hide a fugitive, Mike.
Let's go back to Copeland for a moment. What happens to him now?
Well, Atlanta homicide detectives want to talk to him, too, about 5 other murders. They have pinned him as the prime suspect in those. He was sentenced to life plus 20, and now he could have some more time tacked on to that sentence, Mike.
All right, thanks very much. Ernie Freeman at the Fulton County Government Center. An off-duty Atlanta police officer came to the aid of a neighbor tonight, and it happened in the same neighborhood where 2 Atlanta officers were gunned down recently. The resident had been attacked in his Lindbergh Drive home and stabbed. The off-duty cop chased the attacker, and during a struggle, shot the suspect in the arm. Now, he was taken to Grady Hospital for treatment. The Atlanta officer was not wounded. That incident happened just a few blocks away from where Officer John Soa was killed, and Officer Pat Coach alone was injured.
Also making news tonight, the search for the suspect in the murder of a Decatur teen at a MARTA station. 17-year-old Casey Stargell was shot to death at the Lakewood MARTA station Friday night. MARTA police have released the sketch of this young man who they say may be their suspect, and this teenage girl who may have witnessed the shooting. MARTA is offering a $5,000 reward for the arrest and conviction of the suspect. If you have any information, call MARTA police at this number, 404-848-4911. Again, 404-848-4911. A single-engine plane crashed while taking off in Forsyth County tonight. The Cessna went down around 5:30 near the Mathis Airport east of Highway 141. 2 men on board the plane were pulled out of the wreckage by neighbors and taken to Baptist North Hospital. They are reportedly in stable condition. The FAA was on the scene tonight investigating and will return to continue investigations tomorrow morning.
A decision is expected tomorrow from a judge in Massachusetts in the case of British au pair Louise Woodward. He can let the jury's guilty verdict stand, he can reduce that sentence, or he can drop the case altogether. Woodward was sentenced to life in prison on October 30th for the murder of 8-month-old Matthew Eapen. Today, her parents sent a message back home to England, thanking their friends and family for all their support.
It's nice to know that you're behind us, and it gives us a bit of strength, and it helps Louise. We get information relayed, and we tell it to Louise when we visit her every day, and that gives her a lift too.
As her father said, since her conviction, her parents have visited every day, and a judge plans to post his decision on the internet. It could come tomorrow, but he has up to 120 days to rule on this matter. As we continue our 11 minutes of nonstop news, as thousands of emergency personnel prepared for a mock attack, the real thing took place.
That's one of the stories making news across the nation tonight. A crude firebomb exploded in the Wall Street building in New York City this morning. The blast shattered windows, but no one was hurt. Just a few hours later, some 2,000 police officers and EMS workers responded to a fake terrorist attack, a planned drill to train authorities for the event of a gas attack.
President Clinton worked the phones into the night, trying to convince House members to give him what is known as a fast-track authority. That way he could negotiate trade treaties that cannot be changed by Congress. Now, Newt Gingrich is siding with the president, but some Democrats oppose him, fearing that new foreign trade agreements will cost American jobs. The vote is still pending tonight.
For most, running a marathon would be grueling enough, but not necessarily for this Ohio runner. Heather Hackett-Brenegar ran 26 miles while juggling. The 23-year-old says juggling keeps her mind off the pain of running. She finished the marathon in just over 4 hours and says it was a ball. Or several balls.
I like the guy with the cone head outfit myself.
How about it? Well, Atlanta's own Evander Holyfield reclaimed his title last night.
And to the delight of boxing fans, it was no 1-2 punch. In fact, the bout lasted 8 rounds. Sports director Fred Khalil is with us now with more details on quite a fight.
You know, and that thing didn't start till 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
Very, very late.
They drag it out, don't they?
Oh, man. After being knocked down 5 times by Evander Holyfield in the first 8 rounds, ringside doctors would not allow Michael Moore to answer the bell for round number 9. Holyfield retained his WBA heavyweight title and picked up the IBF belt with his TKO over Moore last night in Las Vegas. 5 times Holyfield sent Moore to the canvas, once in the 5th, twice in the 7th, and twice in the 8th. What's next for Evander? A possible matchup with WBC champion Lennox Lewis in May.
He showed what a champion made of. Champion's a person that don't quit. And even things are not going his way, they keep pressing on. The man got knocked down 5 times. He got up 5 times, and he really proved, not just to himself, but to the whole world that, you know, he was worthy of being that 2-time champion.
And we'll have a report from Randy Waters on Spotlight on Sports coming up after the news.
I'll tell you, that Evander Holyfield's a diplomat, isn't he?
He's a very good diplomat.
He was very loose last night, too, wasn't he?
He was loose, you know, and after, you know, he started out slow, but once he got into his rhythm, you know, well, I mean,
look out.
5 times, that's quite a few.
Right.
Pretty
We're going to
amazing.
check you later.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. Well, a victory for the sun today. Finally, after so many hours, so many days of clouds, finally the sun broke through.
And Royal Norman's here with our first alert forecast.
Yeah, and it's going to be around a little bit tomorrow, and then, well, guess what, folks? We're going to see a chance for some more rain. Take a look at our satellite loop over the past 12 hours. You can see some scattered, mainly light to moderate showers. Still haven't gotten east of the Mississippi River, but they're headed our way, and it looks like they're going to be due in probably late in the afternoon or during the early evening hours, but they'll move through quickly, so that's the good news. Forecast for the rest of tonight, partly cloudy, low 43 degrees. Tomorrow, more clouds around, especially in the afternoon with that chance for late afternoon or evening shower. The high 59 degrees. We'll also see some rain later in the week, more on that, and also we'll update you on the status of Hurricane Rick in Mexico.
All right, thanks, Royal.
Thank you. Georgia deer hunters were working the hills today for more than just pride and some trophies. Many of them were working to feed the hungry.
Now, this weekend kicked off the 5th year of a program that's put tons of meat on the tables of the needy. Dennis Doda has the story.
Deer hunter Dean Sheehan made up his mind early today. If luck smiled on him, he'd share the wealth.
I have enough venison right now in my freezer, and wanted to be sure that those who are less fortunate would be able to have some venison.
Luck smiled in the form of an 8-point buck. So Dean's first stop, after the taxidermist, was Bass Pro Shops of Duluth, which is now Georgia's 7th drop-off point for Hunters for the Hungry. Last year, hunters donated 356 deer. This year, the Department of Natural Resources expects 500 deer. Once processed into ground venison, that will mean nearly 8 tons of lean meat for homeless shelters and soup kitchens across the state. Georgia's deer herd of nearly 1 million animals could quickly eat itself out of house and home if not for hunters. And with each hunter allowed up to 5 deer per season, this is an excellent way to use a renewable resource.
We believe in conservation and, you know, keeping the populations down so that they don't starve is just as important as preserving the ones who are endangered.
If you don't hunt, you may not understand the call of the wild. But hunters understand this is a chance to polish their image with the non-hunting public.
That game that they do get, they always be sure that somebody benefits from it.
Hunters, can you spare a buck? It's for a good cause. Dennis Dota, 11 Alive News.
The venison is processed by inmates at the Department of Corrections meat plant near Gainesville. The meat is handled according to Department of Agriculture guidelines for safety. And there's one more collection weekend. That's November 29th and 30th. You can call the DNR at 770-918-6400. That's 770-918-6400 for the drop-off site nearest you. Well, we're just getting started here on 11 Alive News at 11. Musicians all across Atlanta lend their talents for a special tribute to Princess Diana.
And victims of domestic violence live with many scars. Next in our in-depth report, how doctors are helping in the healing process.
The pain of domestic violence, it can leave physical and emotional scars that last for years after the abuse ends. In tonight's in-depth report, Kay Flowers has the story of local doctors offering new hope for free to women who've suffered at the hands of someone they know.
He would push me around or something when things didn't go his way.
But it was Dietrich Fallon's 2-year-old daughter, Shalronda, who would be the ultimate domestic violence victim when Dietrich's Vietnam veteran boyfriend picked up a gun and apparently had a violent flashback.
And boom, pow, then Shalronda hit the floor, and my hand went in her back where the bullet came out of.
The bullet went through Shalronda's cheek and neck, nicking a nerve that damaged her hand. Now 14, she's shy about the physical scars and frustrated about the limitations domestic violence left her with.
I can't do the stuff I want to do.
What are some of the things you'd like to do that you can't because of your hand?
Play basketball and cheer.
In steps plastic surgeon Dr. Seth Yellen and a group of other Atlanta doctors and professionals willing to help Shalronda erase the physical and emotional scars in a way her mother could never otherwise afford.
You'll do this for free?
For free. This is free of charge.
Dr. Yellen's free plastic surgery to improve the bullet wound scar on Shalronda's face. Dr. Frank Joseph's free surgery to improve the range of motion in her hand. Free use of this operating room at West Paces Medical Center.
Repair their physical scars so that their emotional scars have a chance to heal. And that's really what we're here to do today.
The Good Samaritan effort began with the Academy of Facial Plastic and Reconstructive Surgery's Face-to-Face project, expanded locally by the Atlanta Women's Fund. It provides free medical services and counseling for victims of domestic violence.
At this point, I'm very pleased. I think for 5 weeks it looks dynamite.
5 weeks after her surgeries, Shalronda also has braces donated by a local orthodontist.
I just thank God. I think everything's going to work out just fine.
Indeed, Shalronda's improved scar will take about a year to become unnoticeable, and time and therapy will continue to help her hand.
Thank you.
Shalronda and her mother are also getting free psychological therapy. If you think you or someone you know may qualify for the face-to-face program, you can call counselors at 404-874-7551. Brenda?
What a blessing for so many women. It's amazing so many of these doctors are giving their services for free. Why?
It is amazing. I asked that. They say they can't change the world, but they can change the world of one individual, and that is what they hope to do with this program.
All right. Thanks, Kate.
Great story. Now in Health Watch tonight, a breakthrough in gene therapy maybe one day is going to be helping bad hearts grow new arteries. Researchers say injecting extra genes directly into the heart will trigger it to sprout new blood vessels. Now, so far, doctors have only tried that therapy on people with clogged leg arteries, but they say it could soon be used to fight heart disease. Wow, remarkable things they do.
Yeah, indeed. Well, it sure was nice to see that beautiful blue sky first thing this morning, wasn't it?
Yes.
What a pleasant surprise.
Hope you didn't get used to it.
Oh, no.
You know, we didn't get out of the 50s, and we're going to stay unseasonably cool, and the clouds are coming back, and maybe even a little bit of rain, too. So.
Oh, boy, you're the bearer of good news, aren't you, tonight?
We could go to sports and check that out. I'll tell you what, it's not going to be that bad, especially tomorrow. We're going to have a chance for some widely scattered showers late afternoon, early evening. Most of us probably won't see anything. Let's take a look at the numbers tonight. It's 45 degrees, 86%, winds out of the west at 9. Barometric pressure is rising from 29.88 inches. Our high today, 59 degrees. The morning low was 40. And once again, we're not going to get out of the 50s for at least the next couple of days. Normals 65 and 45 degrees. We haven't been at those normal levels for a couple of days now. It's just going to stay unseasonably cool out there. All right, let's take a look at the maps tonight and show you. First of all, we're going to take you to Hurricane Rick in southern Mexico. Winds 75 miles an hour, moving to the east-northeast at 13. Hurricane Rick is a minimal hurricane, but a lot of rain associated with this system. 5 to 10 inches, higher elevations it's moving into. We're anticipating a lot of problems with flooding and with mudslides, and this is an area that has been dealing with this type of weather for the past 3 or 4 months. More on that tomorrow with Kathy Ballou. These are current temperatures: 41 up at Chicago, 32 at Omaha, 24 at Denver, 22 up at Casper, 20 at Great Falls, 40 at Reno, and 60 tonight at San Francisco. We're going to put the maps in motion, and this is a radar map where you can also tell where it's snowing and a little bit of rain mixed with snow and even some freezing rain in portions of Kansas. Snow on the backside of this system heading our way, so it gives you an idea of how cool it is. In fact, some light snow around Denver. Let's take you there and show you some of the activity that they had earlier today around the Denver area. They've had heavier snows already this season. Probably ended up with an official accumulation of just an inch or two, though some areas of the city picked up much more than that. Of course, anyone knows Denver. You get up into the foothills into the west, they picked up much more than that, but the snow is going to be tapering off during the morning hours. Back to our maps to show you that cold front that is headed our way, and it's going to be moving pretty quickly, and we're really not going to get a big cold blast out of this first cold front, but it looks like later in the week, or actually toward the weekend, we may see some very, very cold air around here next weekend. In the meantime, here's what we have to deal with tomorrow afternoon. Some widely scattered showers are going to move our way, and we really do emphasize the widely scattered on this because we don't anticipate a whole heck of a lot of rain around here for 2 reasons. It's not a very strong cold front for us anyway, and it's going to be moving very rapidly. In fact, by tomorrow morning, the rain is just entering portions of Alabama. By Monday afternoon, that's when we get our chance for some widely scattered showers. But the frontal system is moving so quick that by Tuesday, we're in great shape. Here's our forecast for the rest of tonight. Partly cloudy, low of about 43 degrees. Tomorrow, that chance for some late afternoon or evening showers around, high 59. Tuesday is going to be a pretty nice day with a high of 57. Extended forecast. Pretty good chance for rain again on Thursday and Friday. And look at those temps, cooler than normal right through the week.
You got it all mixed up for us, don't you?
Yeah, I know.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's a November thing.
It'll be an exciting week.
All right, thanks.
Well, coming up next, a musical tribute to the People's Princess.
Plus, they are all suited up and ready to hear and sign your Christmas list. The story when we return.
The memory of Diana, Princess of Wales, is still being honored in Atlanta tonight at the Peachtree Christian Church in Midtown. There, a well-attended concert dedicated to the late princess featured the enchanting sounds of Gabrielle Fauré's Requiem. Professional singers and musicians from all across North Georgia lent their talents to the performance.
Our crews are busy working on stories for tomorrow morning.
11 Alive Steen Miles joins us from our newsroom with a preview. Good evening, Steen.
Good evening, Brenda, Mike. UN reconnaissance flights resume under the threat of attack. We will have all the latest developments overnight from Iraq. Back here at home, a Decision 97 strategy session tonight for the Gloria Tinubu team. Which candidate for mayor will get this city councilwoman's highly sought-after endorsement? These stories plus team traffic and weather every 11 minutes. Everything you need to start your day tomorrow on 11 Alive News Today, beginning at 5 a.m.
All right, good enough, Steen. Thanks.
Now, Santa is making his list. He's checking it twice and even learning to sign real nice.
What do you want for Christmas?
18 Santas mastering the all-important question today at the Omni Hotel. The question they'll be asking kids of all ages this holiday season, including deaf kids. The Santas also learned to sign, "What is your name?" and "Sit on my lap." It's all part of the 12th annual Santa seminar. I didn't see the one about don't feed the reindeer.
You're
but
right.
I don't know.
Well, that's going to be cute, though.
It really is. The Falcons win for their second straight win today. Fred has the highlights and reaction next.
Plus, a tree didn't bother this golfer during the final round of the Saracen World Open. 11 Alive Sports is coming up next. Look at there.
How would you like a morning newscast designed with you in mind? At 11 Alive, we're listening and building 11 Alive News today around you.
We know your mornings are hectic. That's why from 5 to 7 a.m. we bring you news, weather, and team traffic reports every 11 minutes.
We've got a full rush hour in store for us. It's information you need with the convenience you want. And it's part of our commitment to deliver news that matters to you.
Join us for 11 Alive News today, weekday mornings from 5 to 7 a.m.
Falcons were certainly hoping to have a good showing.
You know, they hadn't won 2 in a row in about 38 games.
Oh,
back to
that
95. You know, the Falcons were hoping to have a good second half of the season to begin to build for next season. But 1 week after scoring 38 points to beat the Rams, the Falcons took a big step backward this afternoon at the Georgia Dome against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Look at this. Mike Allstott, second-year fullback, running back out of Purdue University, a 47-yard touchdown run for the Bucs. But Chris Chandler goes to Bert Emanuel, 30 yards and a touchdown, game tied at 7. Todd Kinchin fumbled 2 punts. This was the second one. Yeah, that's brutal. Because 4 plays later, Warwick Dunn puts this game away, going about 31 yards for the score. Final score, 31-10. Tampa Bay beats the Falcons. Joby Smith was in the locker room after the game.
We figured we could come out and be physical. We played them in the preseason, and we know they're undersized, but they're fast. And if we were able to come at them and maintain the blocks, which we were able to do, we felt we could score some points. You know, the thing is, we had the turnovers on special teams and a block punt, and you can't beat good teams when you do that, man, because then the offense doesn't even get a chance to get on the field.
Certainly Dan Reeves has been struggling in his first year with the Falcons, but Bobby Ross is not having any picnic in Detroit. His Lions lost again today, dropping Detroit to 4-6. But the Redskins beat him today. Barry Sanders, a 51-yard touchdown run, became the first player in NFL history to rush for 1,000 yards in 9 consecutive seasons, passed Tony Dorsett for 3rd place on the career rushing list. Washington 30, Detroit 7. In Jacksonville, the Jaguars beat Kansas City, but watch this wild play. Rich Gannon picked off by Chris Hudson right here, okay? But watch Andre Rison. He's going to be number 89 in the red jersey. He's going to come up and, boop, strip the ball. And then Danon Hughes picks it up and scores for Kansas City. Jaguars beat the Chiefs 24-10. On the NFL scoreboard, Green Bay a winner over St. Louis. Dallas beats Arizona. Minnesota a win over the Bears. And Cincinnati keeps Indianapolis winless. They're 0-10. New England over Buffalo. Miami beats the Jets. Denver shuts out Carolina. Tennessee a winner over the Giants. Seattle beats San Diego. Pittsburgh a win over Baltimore. And New Orleans wins its 3rd game. They beat Oakland. The Georgia Bulldogs moved up 2 spots in this week's AP College Football Poll, and we have a new number 1. Michigan jumps all the way to number 1 in the AP poll. Florida State is number 1 in the USA Today poll. But look at that, man. And Georgia is in the second 5 at number 7. Not bad for the Bulldogs, who play Auburn this Saturday. Davis Love III won the Kapalua International in Hawaii today. He pockets $216,000 for his efforts. Closer to home, Mark Calcavecchia hung on to win the Saracen World Open out at Chateau Elan. $360,000 for the victory. He gets out of trouble here on number 13. Look at this. He literally wraps the club around the tree without breaking it. Last time I did that, I broke it. And anyway, he sinks the long birdie putt to set a 30 record at -17. He won by 3 strokes. Let's check the leaderboard. Lee Westwood in second by 3 shots. Well, the Hawks are unbeaten, 6-0. They've got 2 home games this week at the Dome. Tuesday, Seattle is here. Sacramento comes to town Friday night. Meantime, at Morehouse today, the Atlanta Glory hosting the Columbus Quest. Teresa Edwards scored 34 points for the Glory, but it was in a losing cause. The final score, Columbus 94, the Glory 91. And a reminder, coming up next, Spotlight on Sports, right after the news. Lenny Wilkins, our special guest.
Oh, good. All right, look forward to it. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Wake Up Weather's next.
Partly cloudy in the morning with temps in the 40s. A little bit of rain late in the day possible.
All right, sir. Thanks very much for watching 11 Alive News.
We'll be back here tomorrow evening, same time, same place. We hope you have a great evening and a terrific week. Good night, everyone.
"11 News Scribe." Closed captioning for the hearing impaired is brought to you by Delta Airlines. You'll love the way we fly.